tomorrow's NFP report is going to be important, but given the focus on the U.S. elections, which Boris and I will be live trading, so look on Twitter for the link to live trading session. Given that, I really don't know how much it's going to matter to investors, because the focus really is on the polls and the day-to-day reaction to the polling results. So with that in mind, I would like to start by talking about what some of the expectations are for in regards to the non-farm payrolls report. As you can see, the market is looking for job growth to increase from 156,000 to 175,000. It's not a significant increase, but it is an increase nonetheless. I don't know if this increase is going to be sufficient to help, kind of revive the move in the U.S. dollar. The unemployment rate is expected to improve. Average hourly earnings growth is expected to grow. So there are other components of this report that could help the trade, namely earnings as well as the unemployment rates. And so we're obviously watching these quite closely, because if we get 185,000, but we get an improvement in unemployment rate and average hourly earnings, we could see a rise in the U.S. dollar. Now, of course, any rally in the US dollar is probably going to be rather mild, because as I said, the polls and elections are in center focus, and unfortunately the polls are very, very tight, too tight for us to be comfortable with it. And unfortunately, the leading indicators for NFPs that we typically follow are pointing to more strength than weakness in in the employment report for the U.S. So taking a look at, every single month when we preview non-farm payrolls, we like to look at the leading indicators for NFPs. Let me just make sure we have all the events here. And some of the most important ones that were released today suggest that job growth may not have been so healthy. I mean, first of all, we did a big drop in layoffs according to Challenger Gray and Christmas. But the number that matters the most, in my opinion, is non-manufacturing ISM and the employment component of that report. If you look at the employment component of non-manufacturing ISM, the index dropped to 53.1 from 57.2. Now, of course, last month's report did not improve like the leading indicator suggests, so there could be a little bit of payback from that, but that's obviously discouraging. Also, jobless claims increased to its highest level in almost 3 months, putting the 4-week moving average at 257,000, which is higher than the 252,000 that we had previously. Consumer confidence, I can tell you, as measured by the Conference Board's report, consumer confidence as measured by the Conference Board's report. Hold on one second. I'm just kind of watching the pounds right now because we want to potentially initiate a trade in this. Okay, we'll just give me a second. All right, hold on a second. Sorry, we've got a lot of positions on right now for our members, so I want to make sure we are on point with all of them. Okay. All right, so taking a look back at the leading indicators for non-farm payrolls, you can see that let's see if we can find consumer confidence. So consumer confidence. Oh, wow. It's totally the wrong month. Fell sharply according to the conference board's report. And then if you scroll down to the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, you can see that the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index also pulled back quite a bit. So we've got quite a bit of a pullback on both fronts. And I think this is very important because I think that this definitely foreshadows the possibility of a softer NFP release. And we may not get that strength that everyone is hoping for. And so the risk for NFPs is certainly to the downside. So what does that mean with regards to trading opportunities? Well, I mean, first and foremost, if we do get a weak NFP number, the biggest gainers will probably be the British pound and the euro, especially since sterling has pulled back so much. And dollar yen can see a little boost, but that's really trading on elections. So I think primarily dollar CAD and pound dollars where I think we'll see the greatest weakness in the greenback. If we see a good number, however, I think dollar yen and euro dollar will be the biggest movers, with euro dollar probably taking out 110.50 and dollar yen basically, shooting above 103.50. Now, of course, the elections is the election is upon us. And I think, this is something that, everyone's watching very closely. And if you want to get a sense of what the price action could be around the elections, basically what was the price action that we've seen earlier this week and last Friday, which is dramatic strength in the euro, dollar mex, also strength in the Japanese yen, is going to be the same moves that we see if Trump actually steals the election. Now, if Hillary Clinton wins by a solid margin, we'll probably see strength in the dollar across the board. But if there's a potential for a recount, I think that could be quite risky as well, and that could lead to a scenario where we see continued weakness in the U.S. dollar. So those are all things that we are looking at, and things that we see as potential trading opportunities. We always live trade non-farm payrolls with our members, and we are going to be live trading the election Tuesday night, November 8th. So if you're on Twitter, make sure you go on Twitter and see what get the link for the live trading session, because it's going to be very, very special. So, with that, I know it's a short session, but, we have 3 people attending. So if you have questions, please feel free to fire away. Any questions? So it seems like our 3 attendees don't have any questions. If there are no questions, I'd like to thank all of you for joining me today. And, sorry for this being short and sweet, but, it's obviously a very busy day for me. And, it doesn't seem like the people who are attending have any questions. So thank you so much. And hopefully you've got a little bit of my insight as to why NFPs could surprise the downside and where we're leaning on things. And we're going to have a 2-hour live trading session for election on Tuesday, it's just bit.ly at BK election. So you can just sign up there as well. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.